Scientists have discovered how to trick your body into thinking it is fasting, burning fat hour by hour, even if you keep on eating as usual. Latest research by a Nobel-winning team of Japanese scientists into adult stem cells have revealed that there is a fasting switch that you can activate right now inside your body. This will trigger massive weight loss without you skipping even a single meal. This switch not only depletes and shrinks fat cells, like most diets will, but it actually tells your body to completely discard and destruct old fat cells. It will help you shed the extra pounds, but it will also lead to the cells in your face, on your neck, and body to self-destruct and be replaced. This will rejuvenate saggy skin from head to toe. Medical researchers have been looking for this fasting switch for decades, ever since studies by Harvard have clearly shown that fasting is one of the most efficient and fastest ways to lose weight. The problem is that intermittent fasting is not recommended for the majority of people. Leading medical experts from New Zealand warn that people with blood sugar problems, premenopausal women, and many others simply cannot do intermittent fasting. But a reliable solution to weight loss has never been more urgent, as 67% of men and women in the United States are considered obese or overweight. Now, after in-depth studies of Tibetan monks from the Xiangmu region have finally revealed what this switch is. Researchers were stunned when they observed how the fasting switch was triggered, even while the test subjects were having their lunch. This revolutionary research could change the lives of millions. Basically, you can reap all the benefits of fasting without actually fasting. Imagine never having to diet a day in your life because your body is optimally burning every excess pound of fat. Imagine never having to starve yourself again in order to lose weight because your body is already convinced that you're not eating. Not only that, but your skin is getting a much needed lift, regaining elasticity and looking more hydrated than ever without ever getting any plastic surgery or cosmetic procedures. And the same regeneration you see on your face, neck, and cleavage is happening throughout your body, wiping away years off your biological age and keeping you fit well into your retirement. So far, 11,412 people have tried this revolutionary method, with more reaching incredible weight loss results every day.
I have tried fasting so many times over the last 10 years since I had my third boy. It worked wonderfully, but it was so difficult to keep up. This fasting switch has given me all the beautiful results of fasting, but without starving, without the brain fog and the exhaustion. The 56 extra pounds I had desperately tried to get rid of have vanished. I fit into all of my old clothes, and it was so easy to get this thing going.
This is the first method that I've tried that's actually worked to slim me down and keep the weight off. I'm in the best shape of my life, and the pounds haven't returned. And I've been able to do all of this and not sacrifice eating a single piece of cheesecake to get here. Thank you.
My wife found out about this method on a forum, and when I saw how quickly she was losing the thighs and the belly with no diet at all, I simply had to give it a go. She never said anything about my beer belly, but I've always wanted to get in better shape for her and for my kids as well. I didn't want their dad to have health problems before even retiring. This fasting without fasting has been nothing short of a miracle.
It warms my heart every time I get a message like the ones you just heard, and I can't wait for more people to try this method. But before we get into it, it's important for me to tell you why this has become my life's work, and why I fight so hard to get this message out there to as many people as possible. My name is Luke Turner, and all my life I have worked as a physician and a pastor. For the past 30 years, I have traveled throughout the world on various missions, offering medical treatment in some of the poorest parts of the world. And I've given spiritual guidance to anyone who needed it. My faith and my work mean everything to me. I've raised my 4 kids to be kind and serve others. My 2 oldest daughters are doctors themselves, and my son is an ordained pastor himself. Life hasn't always been easy on the road with my entire family, and I think it was hardest on my youngest, Lizzie, who's been traveling since she was born. No one in my family is thin as a stick, but ever since she started becoming a young lady, Lizzie started growing in weight. We tried helping her any way we could, but even when she was on very strict diets, she still seemed to put on weight. I didn't care at all. She was my sweet baby, and I loved her no matter what. But my wife Amber was worried sick about her, and I could see that Lizzie was more and more uncomfortable about how she looked. She always covered up in the biggest t-shirt she could find and never wanted to be in any of our family photos. And she was scared to death of the gym. She was terrified that people would stare at her the second she walked in. So you can imagine my delight when she finally announced at the 4th of July family dinner that she had decided to start taking up a training program at the gym. We couldn't wait to see her finally succeed. I mean, she had tried every single pill out there. We had spent tens of thousands of dollars on nutritionists and specialists and medical consults throughout the years to figure out why this was happening to her. Before the gym membership, she had asked her oldest sister about cosmetic procedures to reduce her weight. We completely forbade it. I knew the risks as a physician. I would not let my baby get a heart embolism or some life-threatening infection just to look better in jeans. Liposuctions and other fat-freezing or dissolving techniques have serious side effects and can lead to death, but they have become so normal that people hardly think of them as serious surgery anymore. We knew that going to the gym for the first time at 27 would not be easy, but everyone was supportive because this was the change she needed. However, she didn't seem to be losing much weight, even though she was in the gym every single day. She wasn't even taking Sundays off, which I wasn't too happy about, but I knew how important it was to her. I knew she was disappointed that for 2 months, nothing seemed to change, even though she was trying her hardest. But I was very proud that she didn't give up and kept going. And then on my lunch at the community health center, Jake, my best friend, tapped me on the shoulder. "Luke, your daughter's gone viral on TikTok. It's really not good, buddy." I will never forget those words and the sense of dread that turned my stomach instantly. There she was, my precious Lizzie, filmed while struggling with some machines in the gym. There were more than 15,000 comments under that video making fun of my child.
I didn't know we had elephant-friendly gyms in my area.
I bet if they made her lift a pizza that heavy, she'd get right to it.
Ugh, so gross. I wouldn't want to look at that while I'm working out.
I prayed to God that she hadn't seen the video and all of those mean comments. But when I got home from work, I saw her slumped on my doorstep, crying and telling me she wants to move back in with us because she can't even face her friends. Of course, we gave her the old room back and she locked herself in there. She stopped going out and stopped talking to her friends. Amber, my wife, tried everything to console her or to help her feel better, but nothing worked. Our baby girl became a recluse. I wish there was more I could do, but I felt like my hands were tied. I knew how important it was for Lizzie to lose weight. All she ever wanted was to get her life back together. So I started researching furiously about diets, pills, and doctors that could help. Everything that could have worked was expensive and dangerous. I'm talking here about serious medical interventions. Everything else seemed to lead to a never-ending cycle of yo-yo dieting and a life of feeling permanently miserable about how your body looks. The only weight loss method that came up again and again, with many people saying they got steady results from it, was intermittent fasting. It's been there for millennia in every single culture and religion, and apparently for very good reason. It keeps the body in good shape, lean and younger. But a lot of people are unable to do intermittent fasting. Fasting might make their blood sugar erratic or might cause hormonal changes that the body can't stabilize. And for the people who can do intermittent fasting, many find it impossible to stick to. Not because they don't have enough will, because it really is a tough experience going with no food hours at a time. When your spouse or kids munch on goodies and snacks around you. Or your colleagues at work go out for lunch and you sit there sipping on water while they stuff their bellies. And that's when I remembered that back in 2010, I had worked on a project in India for the Ahmedabad Sterling Hospital that studied people with extraordinary abilities. We were looking at a yogi who had been on a strict lifelong fast for over 76 years. The research had also included many other holy men and monks who were fasting. Everyone knew that these people were healthier and biologically younger than their actual age. And we were desperately looking to understand what was happening inside them. What was fasting doing to their bodies? I remembered that the study was looking at a particular switch in the body that was being triggered when people went a couple of days without food. It was like a master control to the entire system, telling the body to burn any fat reserves and to destroy old cells that were not functioning properly. The explanation is simple. Your body is fueled constantly by food. But when your body thinks it is being starved, it starts consuming fat stored in the cells. But something even more interesting and important starts happening. Your body also munches up all the cells, including fat cells that are old, degraded, no longer in peak condition. It basically turns on all house cleaning to keep you going when there's not enough food. It is not the act of fasting, but this switch in the body. That means people can eat a lot, but if their organs get the signal to rest for 16 to 18 hours, regeneration starts happening. And the results start growing exponentially after the 14-day mark. That's because it takes a longer time for the entire body to gear up and for the signal to renew to get to every single cell. This is why most fasting regimens recommend more than 2 weeks. Even religious fasts follow this pattern. The name of this mechanism in the body is autophagy, and it also leads to the renewal of cells throughout the body. It gets rid of those pesky old and damaged cells in your skin, liver, and kidneys. That means you are not only getting slimmer, but cellularly younger and more fit. When it comes to fat cells, the main effect of autophagy is that it munches up the dysfunctional ones which got used to storing a certain amount of fat. These dysfunctional fat cells can't be resetted. They are like a broken fuel gauge. They also don't properly communicate with other healthy fat cells. That means when you do anything that triggers weight loss, such as working out,